South African President Cyril Ramaphosa finds himself in an unusually intense political spotlight as opposition parties ramp up pressure over what they call the bureaucratic bloat within his administration. Critics argue that the proliferation of deputy ministers, advisory boards, and various government agencies has turned the machinery of the state into a costly, inefficient behemoth, raising questions about accountability, transparency, and the prioritization of public resources. The latest salvo came from the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, which accused the president of failing to address a bloated government structure that, according to the party, is draining the national fiscus without delivering tangible benefits to ordinary citizens. South Africans are watching their taxes being swallowed by an oversized bureaucracy, said an EFF spokesperson during a fiery press briefing. When will the president take decisive action to streamline government operations and ensure that every rand spent has value for the people? The Democratic Alliance, DA, echoed similar concerns, emphasizing that the country cannot afford to maintain an administrative system where overlapping roles and redundant positions persist. In Parliament, DA leaders have repeatedly called for a comprehensive review of the executive branch and a public accounting of the number of deputy ministers, advisors, and special committees in place. "We need clarity, not ambiguity," said a senior DA MP. "Citizens deserve to know why some ministries have multiple deputies while essential services remain underfunded." The controversy has placed Ramaphosa in a politically precarious position. On one hand, he is contending with an opposition eager to frame his administration as out of touch with the everyday realities of South Africans. On the other, he must navigate internal party dynamics within the African National Congress, ANC. Some party insiders believe that calls to reduce deputy ministers and streamline government could provoke friction among ANC factions, many of whom view ministerial and deputy ministerial appointments as opportunities to consolidate influence and reward loyalty. Public sentiment appears to be mixed. Social media platforms have been flooded with debates about the value of a large government versus the need for efficient, cost-effective administration. Memes highlighting the perceived extravagance of multiple deputy ministers have gone viral, illustrating a growing impatience among citizens who feel that leadership is more concerned with maintaining political patronage than addressing pressing social and economic issues. Ramaphosa's critics argue that bureaucratic expansion is not merely a question of inefficiency but also of accountability. Reports suggest that some departments continue to operate with overlapping mandates, leading to duplication of efforts, delayed service delivery, and, in some cases, allegations of mismanagement. These revelations have become a potent talking point for opposition parties, who portray the president as reluctant to confront structural weaknesses in his own government. In response to mounting criticism, the presidency has attempted to justify the existing governmental structure, citing the complexity of contemporary governance and the need for specialized roles to tackle pressing issues such as energy, health, and economic recovery. However, these explanations have done little to assuage growing concerns. Analysts note that, while specialized positions may be necessary in certain contexts, a government that cannot convincingly demonstrate efficiency risks eroding public trust and political legitimacy. The debate has also sparked a broader conversation about reform in South Africa's public sector. Policy experts suggest that a review of executive appointments and the rationalization of ministerial portfolios could improve both fiscal responsibility and service delivery. Streamlining government is not just about cutting positions, it's about improving outcomes for citizens, said one governance specialist. The question for President Ramaphosa is whether he has the political will to take these steps, even if they upset entrenched interests within his party. As opposition parties continue to demand answers, the president faces a balancing act. He must respond in a manner that reassures the public of his commitment to efficient governance while avoiding the risk of internal political strife within the ANC. How he navigates this challenge may well define his leadership in the coming months, particularly as South Africa grapples with economic pressures, service delivery challenges, and the growing scrutiny of an electorate increasingly unwilling to tolerate perceived bureaucratic excess. The spotlight on bureaucratic bloat is unlikely to dim anytime soon. With parliamentary debates heating up and public impatience mounting, Ramaphosa's every move is being closely watched. The question that looms large: can the president reconcile the demands of political allies with the expectations of a nation eager for accountability, transparency, and a government that delivers on its promises? The coming weeks may provide the answer, and the political fallout could be significant.